It's me. Leave a message at the beep.
Hey, man. Hey, so I changed phone plans this week. I got so sick and tired of sprinting my sprints. So I changed phone plans, but I used you as a credit reference, and I hope that's okay. Um, I, my credit's fine. My credit's fine. But what I did is I told them who you are. I told them who you work for and who you are, and so they, probably gave me preferential treatment. So J-Dog, listen. I mean, you're gonna get, the call is coming. The call is coming, so I just want you to know in advance. I may have told them that your name is Jason Verizon. So, when they call, just play along. It's a game. It's fun. But I did get I got a really good package. I've got 200 texts, and I've got unlimited data, 500 kilobytes maximum, which, is great. It's great. At least I don't have fucking T-Mobile. Am I right? Oh, those guys. Fucking unlimited. All right, buddy. Well, you know what? Call me back. Bye.
Welcome back to the October 10th, 2016 podcast of the broadcast of the thing that I call the Glossy News 4K podcast news review and technology, whatever, movies, and, it's great. Gosh darn it. Why don't you people see how great it is? It's not good. Oh no, this podcast is not good. No, it's great. And I shall impart upon you the ways in which it is great. And I shall do that by telling you, today we're going to be talking about some crazy things. We're going to be talking about how to make a how it's made video, specifically in terms of those scant successes I've had. And we're going to be talking about a new show called Westworld on Hobo. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's spelled HBO, or in America, HBO. And we're also going to be, just kind of making some jokes, having some fun, just doing our thing. But first, we have to get to our sponsor of the week, because, my friends, as you know, we always have a sponsor for the podcast. This week's podcast is brought to you in part by shaving your own head instead of getting a haircut. Shaving your own head instead of getting a haircut. Save $20, $30, $300 a year. Yes, you can. Stop going to the salon. Shave your own goddamn head. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. So guys, this week I got a new video out. Oh my gosh, on my regular channel, Glossy News, youtube.com/Glossy News. It's where you can find all my really, really funny stuff. So this one is another from my How It's Really Made series. Now, it's kind of fun. See, what I did is my first real video back when I got serious, I guess, if you could call it that. It was one I'd been kicking around in my head for probably 2 years at the time, and it was how hot dogs are really made. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if I just took the actual video and just changed the voiceover? And so I downloaded it and I started editing it, and I got into it a ways and realized, no, I need to cut it up a bit, make it different, significantly shorter, and better, just better all around. And so then I thought, wouldn't it be great to add clips of other stuff? Oh my gosh. And so I kept adding to it, and it was a massive undertaking. I probably put, I'm going to say 70 to 80 hours into that first video. And I didn't have, I didn't have equipment at the time. I had a laptop, which was capable of editing. And I had, that's what I had. And so there was a huge learning curve to figuring out Adobe Premiere, which, once you got the hang of it, it's great. But my God, learning is just painful. So I actually recorded the voiceover at my cousin Andy's studio, Maplewood Studios in SeaTac. And it was just a lot of fun. And I uploaded it, and it did well. It did so well that I should have taken it more seriously right away, but I didn't. My next How It's Made, chicken nuggets, and that's another easy one. Months down the road, like 4 months later, 5 months later. And that did really well too. It got a huge boost right out of the gate from social media. And I was like, okay, I can do this. But then I didn't, because I didn't know what to do next. Well, since then I've done more. I've done, it's really hard to come up with something to do. And I ask my viewers to suggest stuff, and they come up with stuff, but a lot of it, like one guy suggested ham. How ham is really made. It's like, well, you cut open a pig and you have ham. I'm not sure what I would say about that. So, at any rate, this week I made a new one. And in doing that, what I actually did is I started 8 new ones. Technically 9, because I added one along the way. So I've got 1 finished, 8 more in the pipeline, because there's a lot of crossover. When you're looking through video clips of what you're going to use, that you're like, oh, that would be good for Cheez-Its or Velveeta, but not veggie burgers or wheat thins. And those are all ones I'm actually working on. I'm also working on Red Bull. But the one I finished this week is Mountain Dew. And then I grab all the clips and I start paring them down and trying to formulate where this is going to go. And a problem comes up in that a lot of the really great jokes I've already used. It feels like in the first 2 videos alone, I kind of blew my load in terms of comedy. There's only so many good words for mixture or, the substance, calling it a slurry. That's a good word for something that is not water and sand, but rather food. And so it's gotten pretty challenging. And also, in terms of what's disgusting that I can say is actually included, it's the more of these I do, the harder they get. So the Mountain Dew one is up. It's out. It's a lot of fun. And more are coming, but they're coming slowly because they're just a lot more work than I thought. And so really, I've got probably, I'm going to say 30 or 40 videos I'm working on right now, maybe 20. And I imagine, I think of it like a wave cresting. Right now, it's just a little lump out at sea, but soon it'll come to the beach and all of a sudden there'll be more than you know what to do with, I assume, after a fit of mania. But right now, I'm just so damn obsessed with the election, it's hard to get to them. So you know what? Why don't we take a minute? And I know this isn't great for the podcast listeners, but for the podcast viewers, it's better. I'm going to play the Mountain Dew video. It's only three-ish minutes long, so let's just play that now. Mountain Dew, beloved for its healing properties, is a popular beverage. But how they really make it? It all starts in a $300 million factory like this one, where hydration scientists take locally sourced water reclaimed from the environment and create a base using all natural ingredients like toluene, red phosphorus, ether, herpesimplex, lithium, which is a salt, and iodine crystals. Crystals, of course, have healing properties. They combine them using techniques, methods, and systemic processes. Careful attention is paid to keep the chemical goo off the workers' hands and prevent them from contracting sody lung. The syrup is sent over to the H-Oak smasher for mixing, but there's a few more steppages before it's going to be safe to drink. The distinctive flavor is created using pseudoephedrine, acetone, chlamydia, sodium hydroxide, and anhydrous ammonia. Then mix that with castoreum, which representatives from the Pepsi Corporation strongly suggest you do not look up on the Google. That's castoreum, a popular flavoring that you should not Google. Castoreum. Other natural flavors are added as swell. With all the ingredients smooshed together, the super mix begins. Ultra high pressure vats like this one run 30,000 watts of electric through the amalgam for 4 minutes and 20 seconds to fuse the elements, compounds, and reactions in between. Luckily, this leaves them only slightly radioactive in the end. It's not dangerous. It's about the same radiation level you'd get as flying in an airplane. Continuously, for a dozen lifetimes. Over the next few days, cobalt and lead chambers diffuse much of the radiation until it reaches what those business crushers at the USDA call people survival levels. The mixture is carefully dripped into cans and bottles on its way past your toddler's teeth and into that green outgoo we've all seen in diapers. The byproducts from the process are extremely hazardous, so they are safely discharged into the nearby waterways where they spread out, giving free nutrients to the flora, fauna, fish, and birds, making them safe and beneficial to the environment. And that, my friends, is how Mountain Dew has its made. So yeah, there you go. As you can see, there's, a lot of fun to be had. There's, a lot of the jokes have gotten even subtler. In the hot dog one, I said that they add, charcoal, saltpeter, and sulfur, and the joke there is that's gunpowder. And in this one, the joke was, the chemicals I listed are how to make meth at home, which I had to Google, so I'm sure I'm on some kind of list now. That's great. I always wanted to be on that list, especially with the neighbors knowing me as the guy who hangs out in a shed all night. So that's, I'm sure, just awesome. But no, the upcoming ones, will hopefully be this one, in terms of how refined it is, like the hot dog one, I would call that like 98% refined. This one, unfortunately, is only like 95% refined. There's a couple of stray frames here and there where if you were to watch it 100 times, as I have in the course of editing it, you would see them. But it got to the point where it was like, you know what, I've got to just put a cap on this, put it to bed, call it a night. And yeah, I will go the 98% effort on the next ones. And this one, what I did that was actually great is I allowed myself to do what I consider a perfect voiceover, in that I did, on a lot of them, 5-10 takes of the same line. With the hot dog one, I actually only did maybe at most 2 or 3 takes on anything. And on some of them, 1 take, which in hindsight was pretty crazy and dangerous, but it worked out great. And the hot dog video, to this day gets 500 to 800 views a day. And the chicken nugget one last week, for some reason, was up around 1,000 to 1,200 views a day. It just really took off in terms of search placement on on YouTube and on Google, and in terms of people sharing it. And the comments, oh my gosh, how can you do this to baby chicks? You're awful. You're just horrible people. Me? And then, of course, I get the endless stream of comments saying, fake, this is fake, so fake. Well, it is pretty fake. The chicken nugget one I'm really proud of because all but about 8 seconds of it, maybe 5 seconds, is actually from chicken processing, poultry plants around the world. And one guy even somebody said fake, and the guy responded to him saying, look, this guy's got like less than 1,000 subscribers. His channel has, I don't know, less than 1 million views. There's no way he could afford to fake all this footage. It came from somewhere. And it did. And I actually think one video I'm considering making is a lot of people point me to the McDonald's. McDonald's put out a video saying, no, there's no pink slime in our chicken nuggets. It's real. It's good chicken. Here's the proof. And the proof is an absolute joke. They show this pristine plant where people are gently filleting chicken breasts and, slicing off the fat and gently placing them to the next station. Well, they don't show how the chickens are raised or killed. And then they say, oh, and then we add other dark meat to the mix. Right. Okay. Let's see where that comes from. How come you're not showing that, McDonald's? And it's not great chicken because, so for example, take KFC. They have chicken nuggets, but they're not chicken nuggets. They're white meat chicken breaded things. And if you take one and break it open, what you'll see is something that looks very much like chicken. If you break open a chicken nugget from McDonald's, what you'll see looks like foam. It looks like styrofoam. That, my friend, that is not what chicken is. If you want to say it's not pink slime, that's fine, but it sure as hell is not chicken. So yeah, anyway, that's my new How It's Really Made, and, check it out. Share it. Give it some love. I'll put the link in the description, as I do, and, let me know. And it's already got, I don't know, 1,500 views, something like that, maybe 1,350, I don't know. It's a nice start to the Mountain Dew one. It's a nice start, but I don't think many people are Googling how Mountain Dew is made. And to my absolute dismay, if you go to YouTube and search, how is Mountain Dew made? I'm not even on the first page, even though all the others are things like how to make Mountain Dew Jello shots, how to make Mountain Dew at home, how to make Mountain Dew Baja Blast at home. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. That's the thing with YouTube. You're at the mercy of their algorithms. And the only people who are good at gaming the algorithms are the people that the algorithms are designed to stop. So it's almost enough to drive you crazy.
Hot streams for your face. Hot streams for your face.
So I have got a hot stream for you. This one came out of the blue. I didn't even know it existed. I stumbled onto it. There's only one episode out so far. By the time you hear this, probably two. Westworld. Westworld on HBO. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. It is a sci-fi thriller. It is set, I assume, in the distant future. And the premise is that there's this whole world set up, so to speak, filled with simulated people, machines, robots, if you will, but very much organic robots. And you can go live out your fantasy in the Old West, which means there's prostitutes and outlaws and, any sort of craziness you could find in the Old West, you can find. If you want to go in there and shoot a horse, do it. If you want to go in there and stab a man to death, do it. You pay, apparently, an exorbitant amount of money, and well, you should, to go into a world that's been entirely created and inhabited by fabrications. So, to give you an idea of the star power, you've got Anthony Hopkins is in this. Anthony Hopkins is in your TV show. So really, my question is, how do you make a show that's so different and so creative and still get away with it? And the answer seems to be, you do it on HBO. Network television seems to play what I'd consider to be a very safe game. And maybe it's because they're trying to appeal to hundreds of millions of people. Westworld debuted with 3.3 million viewers. And I'll tell you, that doesn't even count me. It was riveting. It was very, the potential in this series looks great. Apparently it's based on a Michael Crichton novel from 35 years ago. And it looks like one of these things where it's got enough twists and turns built into it to give you something like the fun you would have watching Lost. There's a lot more actors and actresses in it you'll recognize, but I think I've given you enough to know you should check it out. So the question is, where can you view this hot stream that's going to your face? Where you can view it is HBO Now. You can also watch it on HBO or all the usual pirate places. So what I was thinking is, I don't know how much HBO Now is, and it's got to be, before it came out, they were talking about $5 a month. I'm going to Google it. It's time to take the plunge. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Real Time with Bill Maher, Westworld. There's so much good stuff on HBO. It's time to actually pony up and watch and pay to watch. And then I Googled it and found out it's $15 a month. $15 a month? I'm already paying for my internet. $15 a month. No, you know what I would do instead if I were to go that route is I would get a virtual private network. I would pay for a VPN because that's like $5 a month, $10. I think it's like $40, $50 a year. And then you can just torrent whatever you want. Now, that would be potentially illegal. So I don't advise that. But I mean, you can torrent for free already. It's just they'll maybe shut off your cable, so don't do that. Get a VPN, then torrent. If it was $5 a month, no problem. No problem, HBO. I'll give you my money. But $15 a month? You want $90 a year? No. For less than that, I could just wait and buy the DVDs. I could buy the DVDs of all your best shows. Okay, not Last Week Tonight or Real Time with Bill Maher, but I mean, Last Week Tonight you can watch on YouTube. They put up over half the episode each week, which is great. John Oliver's got, close to 1 billion views on his channel. And it's not even like they're focused on 1 or 2 episodes or 1 or 2 segments. They're actually distributed pretty evenly in the 13 to 17 million views per clip range. So John Oliver, I mean, he's great, but until HBO gets real, they're not getting my money. So there you go, Westworld. You'll definitely be hearing about this one come award season next year. Well, my friends, there you go. You know where you go? There is where you go. Thanks for tuning in, and, check me out on, all the various places. Go to glossynews.com/podcast for all the glorious links to Facebook, iTunes, YouTube, Libsyn, Twitter. I mean, just whatever. It doesn't matter. You're not going there. It doesn't matter. That's not the important part. The important part is that momentarily there will be a closing thought. And this week, my friends, it is a doozy. Thanks to Greg the Hero for all the backing music and segment bumpers. Good work, my friend. Good work. Thanks to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com for the intro and outro music. Kevin MacLeod, you're the man. You're the man. I say that. You never hear it. You never will. But you're the man. I assure you. Gender-wise, at least according to the things I've seen online, you are the man. A man. You're a man. Closing thought, my friends, you know there is a closing thought. I was working a job. Closing thought. I was going to see a friend of mine recently. He works at an adult shop. I went to visit him. We were going to go out to lunch after his shift. His replacement coming in after him was late. He said, look, the bank's closing. I got to run to the bank. Can you cover for me? I said, sure. Why not? I will man the sex shop for a half an hour. No problem. Go. So he takes off. A guy comes in, says, hey, man. Hey, man. Hey. Man, hey. I said, okay, that's a lot of hey and a lot of man. What do you want? And he said, you see that big old white dildo on the wall? How much you want for it? I looked up at it. Didn't have a price tag. I said, you know what? It's $20. He said, $20? Done. I'll take it. Gave me $20, threw it in the register, done. Out he goes. Another guy comes in, says, hey, man. Hey, man, hey. Man, hey. I said, what in the hell is going on with the linguistics in this town? What do you want? He said, see that big old black dildo up on the wall? The one with all them veins poking out of it? I said, yeah. One of them poked me in the eye. What's your question? He said, how much is it? I said, it's $35. He said, you know what? My friend, I will take it. Gave me $35, threw it in the register. Boom, he's gone. Another dude comes in. Hey, man. Hey, man, hey. Man, hey, man, hey, man, hey, man. I said, this city has got Tourette's. What is in your water supply? He said lead and cadmium, but my question is, how much do you want for that tartan dildo up on the wall? I said, tartan dildo? What in the hell are you He said, it's right up there. Right on the shelf behind you. It's red and green and plaid, and it's big, and I want it. How much is it? And I turned around, and I looked at it, and I looked at him, and I said, I tell you what, that one, my friend, is not for sale. He said, buddy, come on. That's a dildo like none I've ever seen. How much you want? I said, all right. I shouldn't do this. $125, it's yours. He said, all right, you know what? You only live once. 125 sold. Throws the money down. Boom, in the register. Out the door he goes. Well, my buddy comes back. He's like, hey, back from the bank. Any sales? I said, yeah. As a matter of fact, I made 3 sales. He goes, 3 sales in half an hour? That's amazing. What'd you sell? I said, well, you know the old ivory tusk up there, the old albino dildo that's about 4.5 inches long? Yeah. He says, yeah, I know the one very well. What'd you sell it for? I said, $20. He goes, that's amazing. Great. Good job. What else? I said, well, you know, the one next to it, the old ebony tusk, the old forearm of Mike Tyson. Yeah, I know the one. I know it well. I know it too well. I probably should have cleaned it. I didn't. What'd you sell it for? I said, $35. He said, you're a genius. He said, what else? Did you sell something else? I said, as a matter of fact, I did. He said, what'd you do? What'd you sell? I said, well, it turns out I got $125. I sold a guy your thermos. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Sunday for the regulars, Monday for the rest. And you know what? Take good care of yourselves and each other. And babies, I do love ya.